everybody, I'm Jammer and welcome to another Animal Crossing New Horizons video. And that's right, the summer Wave 2 update trailer has just barely launched. And you know what? We kind of nailed everything on the head. In the previous video, we talked about a couple of the leaks from the data mine. It essentially was basically everything that we expected going into this. But even though a lot of things that we saw in this trailer were to be expected, there of course are still plenty of secrets and Easter eggs worth mentioning and talking about here in this video. But before we get into all that, if you are new here, perhaps consider subscribing. It's free, you can always change your mind later, and you of course can expect tons more on Animal Crossing New Horizons. Thanks for listening to that, and without further ado, let's get started. There's essentially 3 new features / updates coming with this Wave 2 trailer. We'll just go one by one chronologically as they come in the trailer. The first one to be announced is of course the fireworks shows, as to be expected considering the Wave 2 update had the same graphical promotional art with the fireworks in the background. So as previous titles since Animal Crossing Wild World, the fireworks show will be held every single Sunday throughout the month of August. As you can see here in the beginning couple of shots, you can see villagers looking up in the sky, doing emotes, clapping and such, being excited for the fireworks show, all stuff we've seen before in previous games. In this first shot, we see a bunch of villagers hanging out at Town Square, getting excited for the fireworks festival, but you'll notice 2 characters out on the plaza. First of all, Isabelle is outdoors. For once in her life, she's no longer trapped inside of Town Hall. But more on her in a bit. First, let's actually talk about, of course, the fireworks show host himself, Red. Crazy Red hosting a little stall on the fireworks festival is nothing new because this feature completely returns from Animal Crossing New Leaf. This time around, it seems that he's hosting a little thing called the Red's Raffle. And to be honest, I'm not actually sure how the raffle is gonna go. In New Leaf anyways, it was called Red's Cookie Stand, and basically he would sell little red cookies. Once the cookie was eaten, you would get a ticket inside. You would then return the ticket to Red to exchange for a variety of different prizes. Sometimes they're good prizes like cool new furniture and whatnot, or if it was a dud prize, you just get like a random sparkler or something like that. I honestly think the Red's Raffle here in New Horizons is going to be very, very similar to that kind of model. I'm assuming you're going to be purchasing something. You'll buy like maybe a raffle ticket for 500 bells or something like that. Using the amount of tickets you get, you'll be able to redeem for a bunch of different prizes that we can already see on the stand itself. In the background of the shot, you can see a variety of different stuff hanging on the wall. There's a fan, bubble wands, pinwheel, balloons, a fountain firework, some folded cards, and then of course the box in the middle, which looks to be of course the box of the raffle tickets. I wouldn't be surprised if everything we see here on the stall is going to be redeemable as rewards within Red's Raffle. We actually see a bunch of these new toys in action throughout the trailer. We see the bubble wand, we see sparklers with a couple of friends. Matter of fact, it looks like you can actually click A to wave around your sparkler and not just stand there like you did in previous games and you just would wait out the sparkler to just fizzle out on its own. That was always so awkward. I'm so glad you could actually like wave it around because everyone knows that's just what you do with sparklers. You also see the balloon in a later shot, and it looks like you can click A to like tug on it. I don't really, it's cool to see it has at least a little like animation and function to actually wielding the balloon, but like tugging on it, I guess. I mean, like, I don't know, it works. Then finally there's the party blower, which has like a tri-shot coming off the front end of it. I'm sure there's gonna be a variety of different toys and fun stuff you can get throughout the festivities next month. I will admit one thing. I mean, I guess of course it makes sense that Red's hosting again because he did in New Leaf, but considering the kind of rewards he's giving out, I almost would have preferred if they used a different character that isn't in New Horizons. Phineas, for example, comes to mind as a great character to be able to host all these fun little toys you can get because that really suits him and the role he has played in previous games. But again, like I said, Red basically did this in the last game, and it makes sense for him to also do it here as well, but it would have been cool to see another face in this game. One other quick thing to mention about the Red's Raffle stand is there's actually a green garbage can off to the right there. And I don't think that's just as display. I almost wonder if it's actually going to have a function. Perhaps the sparklers, as well as the fountain fireworks thing you like lay on the ground and shoot off, perhaps once they're completed and used up, you'll actually have to dispose of them properly. And perhaps that's why there's a trash can out on the town square, so then you can throw away the waste that's left over after the fireworks are used up. This isn't something that's totally new because the fountain fireworks in previous games would produce a used fountain firework that you would later have to throw away in some form or pay the disposal fee to sell back to Timmy and Tommy. It's a cute attention to detail that encourages people to properly throw away their waste. So I mentioned previously that Isabel's hanging out on the town square, which again, I'm so happy she's no longer stuck behind that desk. That girl deserves a break. As you can see in a later shot, she's actually wearing those little glowing boppers, the little headwear that we see the players wearing in a later scene. I think it's easy to assume that just like in New Leaf, she'll be the one that'll actually hand out and give you one of the variety of different headwear boppers. In New Leaf anyways, there was 4 different ones. But in this trailer anyways, we only see the 2, the yellow star and the green orbs. But I would not be surprised if all 4, if not even a variety of different ones, return or are new as well. Beyond just giving you the little headwear boppers, I think Isabel actually provides another service for the fireworks festival as well. The trailer mentions that you can actually launch your own custom designed fireworks, which first of all, that is such a cool and fun idea. We're gonna have so much fun designing some custom design patterns and just put the most hilarious looking fireworks going off in the night sky. And I think it's very well and easy to expect that in order to actually assign and display your custom designs in a fireworks during the fireworks show, I'm sure you'll just talk to Isabel and be like, hey, I want these designs to be showed off tonight. The fireworks festival is just a fun, simple holiday. I can see us having a really good time with all the fun new toys and items to play with, as well as, of course, watching the beauty of the fireworks show itself. So let's move on to the next feature coming to the game, and that is, of course, the Dream Suite? Question mark? I mean, it is essentially the Dream Suite, but there is no suite involved. It's kind of just Dream. It is kind of crazy to see that now in order to initiate the Dream Suite, you just sleep at your own bed in your own home, and all of a sudden you'll drift off into an entirely magical looking dreamland. It's kind of weird to see that like there's like actual magic happening in the series of Animal Crossing. But the one thing that wasn't shown off in the trailer, but it was mentioned in a later post, is that it was clarified that you must upgrade your house beyond the tent in order to access the Dream Suite function, which of course makes a lot of sense. And honestly, who only has a tent for their main account anyways at this point? I would be genuinely shocked. But let's talk about the Dream Islands themselves. They don't actually really go into much details in how this new Dream Suite is going to be working, but it's kind of to be expected. They talk about, of course, you can explore different islands all over the world, as well as show off your own. They don't go through the dialogue trees and whatnot, but I'm sure it's going to be very similar to what we've seen before, where you can talk to Luna and be like, hey, I'd like to upload a current copy of my town. And then, of course, on the flip side of that, you can also enter in perhaps Dream Suite codes or something of the likes of that, so then you can go and visit different towns. I do kind of wonder if there's a bigger infrastructure around like the Dream Islands and such that perhaps potentially like shows off, hey, these islands are really popular, a lot of people are visiting these ones, so then you can kind of get some suggestions from Luna to have places to go beyond the ones you look up online or on other social media platforms. I also am kind of curious how many versions of your town you can upload to the Dream Suite, because I mean in the past anyways it was just one version at a time, and if you ever wanted to upload another one you'd have to erase your previous version. I think it would be kind of cool if you could like upload multiple iterations of your town so you can kind of view the progress of how it's evolved over the time of playing it, but with no indication otherwise of that being a thing, it's probably likely that it's just one uploaded Dream Suite per town. And of course, they do emphasize you do have to have the Nintendo Online subscription to access this feature. One kind of little Easter egg worth mentioning is the bed you actually wake up in the Dream Suite town is actually the bed that's in your home. I think it's going to be pretty hilarious to sleep in different kinds of beds and have them just completely spawn right in the smack middle of Town Hall. I think it'd just be hilarious seeing a giant love bed or imperial bed or the clamshell or just a hay barrel right in the middle of town. I don't know why, I just think that's funny. The other thing worth mentioning, and I don't think it's much of a secret anyways, is there's actually the custom design portal right there, right next to Luna at Town Square. And assuming context clues, I think it totally makes sense that potentially you'll be able to access the designs that are displayed throughout the town. And hopefully that also means you'll even be able to access some of the custom designs that the player of the town you're visiting downloaded themselves. So then rather than having to track down what custom designs players are using and stuff, it'd be so cool to be able to freely access everything that the town is using, so then you can bring it home with you and use those designs in your own town. Also, I guess this probably means that Wendell is gone then, or at least no longer associated with the Dream Suite. Because in New Leaf anyways, he would wander the town of the dream towns you would visit, and he would offer you to be able to get the custom designs that the player used in their towns there. Now it's much more streamlined and at the little custom design board terminal, and I think this is a much better system anyways than rather than having to go track down Wendell in the town somewhere. But it does look like he probably won't be returning in this update. But who knows, maybe we'll see him later down the road at some point. So the last thing the trailer wraps up with, the island backup restoration service is going to be available in just 2 days. They really don't give us much information, and they reference us to go check out their support website. I'm sure we'll understand more what it'll be in a few days, making everything I'll talk about it here completely irrelevant. But I'm sure it's going to line up very similar to what we talked about in the data mine leak previously, where I'm sure this dialogue and such can be accessed through this settings app right at the home screen before you click A, where you'll talk to Tom Nook and such. In those dialogue tree, there was talk of like a moving app, and there potentially could be something tied there, where of course you have to have a Nintendo Switch Online membership to even access this backup service. So having it run through the Nintendo Switch Online app, or some sort of form there, makes a lot of sense to be able to back up and transfer your island save data in case of a really big catastrophe where you do unfortunately lose your Switch. And finally, that's it. Oh wait, actually no, because there's one last thing they mentioned right at the end of the trailer, and that is of course a Halloween update available this fall. I mean, considering we still have the entirety of August and September before we're even into the month of October. So unfortunately, it looks like it might be a couple of months before we see another big update come to the game. However, this will be the first update since the Egg Day Festival update that'll be introducing a big holiday back to the game. Of course, this one being Halloween and Jack being the one to host it. We'll talk about it more in a future video, but I would be shocked if it didn't take a similar form to what Egg Day was, where it was an entire week worth of festivities rather than just a single day celebration. I could see this update coming out maybe mid-October at the latest, definitely at least the week before the 31st at the very, very latest, but I would love to see it a little bit sooner so we can get potentially some other updates and smaller holiday stuff before Halloween, as well as I think we can expect other holidays and other fun stuff to continue throughout the weeks to follow after the Halloween week. But we'll talk about that more in a future video. But anyways, I think that's about everything I found here in the Summer Wave 2 update. I will admit, like I said previously, it is a little bit smaller than I expected, but at the same time, again, my expectations were kind of leveled when we saw that previous data mine leak. It all lines up there. I'm really anticipating and looking forward to the next update, and hopefully the next big update that'll be of a similar scale to the previous spring update that we had that brought just week after week after week of holidays and fun things to do that were new to the game. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a big awesome like, and if you haven't already, definitely subscribe for tons more on Animal Crossing New Horizons. And yes, that's about it. As a reminder, we do stream this game every weekend at 10 a.m. Eastern right here on YouTube Live. That's Saturdays and Sundays. Be sure to follow me over on Twitter to keep up with everything we do in regards to the channel, as well as join our community Discord. The link to that is in the description below. It's a great place to find friends to play Switch games with, Animal Crossing, trade turnips, items, and all that fun stuff. It's an amazing community over there, and we have so much fun playing games almost like every night over there. So I highly encourage you come on by. So I think that's about everything for now. Thanks again, guys, so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya!